By day, I'm his nanny. By night, his obsession. A Luna's Romance, audiobooks, original story. Opening hello, my lovely listeners. This is Luna, and welcome back to Luna's Romance audiobooks, where forbidden desire meets undeniable destiny. Today's story is deliciously intense. It's about boundaries crossed, secrets kept, and a love so consuming it refuses to be denied. It's about an Omega nanny who thinks she's just doing a job, and the alpha widower who can't stop thinking about her. This is By Day, I'm His Nanny. By night, his obsession. So settle in, maybe grab a cold drink because things are about to get heated, and let me tell you about a woman who thought she was in control. Until she met him. Let's begin. Prologue. I should never have taken this job. That's what I thought as I stood outside the massive estate, my battered suitcase at my feet, staring up at the stone mansion that would be my home for the next year. The Blackwood Estate. Home to Dante Blackwood, alpha of the Nightshade Pack, billionaire businessman, and single father to a 5-year-old daughter. And according to the agency, difficult to work with. That was code for, every nanny he's hired has quit within a month. But the pay was triple what I'd make anywhere else, and I was desperate. Student loans didn't pay themselves, and my dream of opening my own preschool wasn't getting any closer on a teacher's salary. 1 year. I could survive 1 year with a difficult alpha. I rang the bell. The door opened to reveal a woman in her 60s with kind eyes and a warm smile. "You must be Miss Winters. I'm Margaret, the housekeeper. Come in, come in." She ushered me into an entryway that could fit my entire apartment 3 times over. Marble floors, crystal chandelier, artwork that probably cost more than I'd make in a decade. "Mr. Blackwood is in his study. He'll want to meet you before you see Lily." Margaret's expression turned sympathetic. "Don't take it personally if he's brusque. He's been through a lot." I knew the story. Everyone did. Dante Blackwood's mate had died 3 years ago, leaving him with a young daughter and a heart that had turned to stone. He hadn't looked at another woman since, hadn't dated, hadn't even considered taking a chosen mate. Just threw himself into work and raising his daughter alone. "Miss Winters?" A deep voice made me turn, and my entire world stopped. He stood in the doorway of what must be his study, 6.5 feet of raw power wrapped in an expensive suit. Dark hair swept back from a face that could have been carved from granite, all sharp angles and harsh beauty. But it was his eyes that trapped me. Silver. Pure, molten silver that seemed to glow in the afternoon light. An alpha. Not just any alpha. One of the most powerful in the region. And when those silver eyes met mine, something electric passed between us. Recognition. Heat. Hunger. My wolf stirred for the first time in months, purring with interest. No, absolutely not. I was here to work. To save money. Not to develop an inappropriate attraction to my employer, Mr. Blackwood. I extended my hand, proud that my voice didn't shake. "I'm Alara Winters. I'm here about the nanny position." He stared at my hand for a long moment before taking it. The moment our skin touched, electricity shot up my arm. His nostrils flared slightly, scenting me. Vanilla and jasmine. My natural Omega scent. His grip tightened fractionally before he released me and stepped back. "You're younger than I expected," he said, his voice rough. "I'm 24, old enough to handle childcare." "And your references?" "In the file the agency sent. All verified." I lifted my chin. "I have a degree in early childhood education and 5 years of experience. I can provide additional references if needed." He studied me with those unnerving silver eyes, and I had the distinct feeling he was seeing far more than I wanted him to. "The agency mentioned your Omega. Is that a problem? Most Omegas prefer pack positions. Why take a private job?" The truth that I was saving for my own preschool, that I wanted independence, felt too personal to share. "The pay is excellent, and I prefer one-on-one care over classroom settings." Not entirely a lie. "Lily is challenging. She's been through 6 nannies in the past year." "I read that in the file. May I ask why they left?" his jaw clenched. They said she was difficult, spoiled, unmanageable. And what do you think? The question seemed to surprise him. I think she's a 5-year-old who lost her mother and doesn't know how to express her grief. The raw pain in his voice made my chest ache. Then she doesn't need management. She needs understanding. I met his eyes. I can provide that, Mr. Blackwood. Give me a chance. He was quiet for a long moment. The position is live-in. Your quarters are in the West Wing, near Lily's room. You'll have weekends off unless I'm traveling for business. Salary is as discussed with the agency. And my duties? Childcare, obviously. Educational activities. Lily's homeschooled, so you'll be responsible for her lessons as well. Margaret handles everything else. When do I start? Now. Margaret will show you to your room. Lily's afternoon lessons begin in an hour. He turned to leave, then paused. Miss Winters? Yes? Lily doesn't warm up to people easily. Don't take it personally. I won't. He left without another word, his scent, pine and smoke and something darker, lingering in the air. I let out a breath I didn't know I'd been holding. This was fine. I could do this. Ignore the attraction. Focus on the job. Save my money and leave in a year. Simple. Except nothing about Dante Blackwood felt simple, and I had no idea how complicated things were about to become. Chapter 1. 3 weeks later. I don't want to do math. Lily threw her pencil across the room. It's stupid. I took a deep breath, counting to 10. Lily Blackwood was beautiful, dark hair like her father, but with her mother's delicate features, and she was hurting in ways that broke my heart. Math isn't stupid. It's actually pretty cool. I picked up the pencil and set it back on the table. How about we make it a game? Games are for babies. Is that so? Well, I guess you're too grown up for cookies then. Her head snapped up. Cookies? I was going to bake some later, but baking requires math. Measuring ingredients, timing. If you think math is stupid, I shrugged. She studied me with eyes too old for her age. What kind of cookies? Chocolate chip, unless you'd prefer something else? A flicker of interest. Chocolate chip is okay. Then let's do 15 minutes of math, and then we'll bake. Deal? She considered it. 10 minutes. 12. Fine. She picked up her pencil. But if the cookies are bad, I'm telling Daddy you're a terrible teacher. I hid my smile. Deal. We worked through the math problems, and I was impressed by how quickly she caught on when she actually tried. She was smart, just resistant. True to my word, we moved to the kitchen after 12 minutes. Margaret was delighted to have us. Finally, someone who actually uses this kitchen. Mr. Blackwood doesn't cook, and I'm not much for baking. Lily climbed onto a stool, watching suspiciously as I gathered ingredients. First, we need to measure flour. Can you read this measuring cup? 1 cup. Perfect. Can you scoop flour until it reaches that line? She did, tongue poking out in concentration. We worked through the recipe together, measuring and mixing. I saw her start to relax, start to enjoy herself. Why did you come here? She asked suddenly as we spooned dough onto baking sheets. To be your nanny. The other nannies left because of me. Her voice was small. Because I'm bad. My heart cracked. You're not bad, Lily. I am. I made them cry. Daddy said I need to behave better, but I don't want to. I want... She trailed off. You want what, sweetie? I want my mama. Her eyes filled with tears. But she's dead, and she's never coming back, and everyone keeps trying to replace her, and I hate it. She dissolved into sobs. I pulled her into my arms, letting her cry into my shoulder. I'm not trying to replace your mama, I said softly. No one could ever do that. Your mama was special, and she loved you so much. You didn't even know her. No, but I know she must have been amazing, because she had an amazing daughter. Lily cried harder, and I just held her, rubbing her back and murmuring soft comfort. I didn't hear Dante enter until his scent hit me, pine and smoke, and that darker note that made my wolf perk up with interest. What's going on? His voice was sharp with concern. "We're okay," I said quietly. "Just having a moment." He looked at his daughter sobbing in my arms, and his expression cracked with pain. "Lily, baby!" "I want Mama," Lily wailed. He flinched like she'd hit him. "I know, Tesoro. I know." He moved closer, and I felt the heat of him at my back. "I miss her too." "Then why doesn't she come back?" "Because she can't. Death doesn't work that way." His voice was rough with emotion. "But she's watching over you, loving you, always." Lily's sobs gradually quieted. "The cookies are going to burn," she sniffled. I couldn't help but smile. "You're right, let's get them out." I set her down gently and moved to the oven. The cookies were perfectly golden. "Want to try one?" I asked Lily. She nodded, wiping her eyes. I gave her a cookie and watched her take a tentative bite. "It's good," she admitted grudgingly. "I'm glad." I glanced at Dante, who was watching us with an unreadable expression. "Would you like one, Mr. Blackwood?" "Dante." The correction was automatic. "Call me Dante." "That wouldn't be appropriate." "I insist." His silver eyes held mine. "And yes, I'd like to try one." I handed him a cookie, careful not to let our fingers touch. He bit into it, his eyes closing briefly. "This is excellent." "Alara's a good baker," Lily said, "and she made math not boring." "Did she?" A ghost of a smile touched his lips. "That's quite an accomplishment." "Can we make more cookies tomorrow?" Lily asked me. "If you do your lessons without throwing things." "Deal." After Lily went to play, Dante lingered in the kitchen. "Thank you," he said quietly, "for handling that well. The other nannies would have called me immediately. She doesn't need punishment. She needs space to grieve." "I know, but watching her hurt," he ran a hand through his hair, "it kills me. She's lucky to have a father who cares so much. I'm not doing a very good job. She's been through 6 nannies. Because they didn't understand what she needed. But I do." I met his eyes. "I've got this, Dante. Trust me." Something flickered in his silver gaze. Heat. Need. He stepped closer, and my breath caught. "You're good with her," he said softly. "Better than anyone we've had." "Thank you. You're also—" He trailed off, his eyes dropping to my lips. The air between us crackled with tension. This was dangerous. Wrong. He was my employer. But I couldn't look away. "I should go," I said, though I didn't move. "Yes. You should." Neither of us moved. His hand came up, almost touching my face, then dropped. "Good night, Alara." "Good night." I fled before I could do something stupid, like kiss my employer in his own kitchen. That night, I lay in bed, unable to sleep. My room was beautiful, more like a luxury hotel suite than servants' quarters. King bed, private bathroom, sitting area with a view of the gardens. But I couldn't appreciate any of it, because all I could think about was Dante. The way he'd looked at me in the kitchen, the heat in his eyes, the tension that had thrummed between us. This was bad. Very bad. I was here to work, to save money, not to develop feelings for my widowed employer. My phone buzzed, a text from my best friend Mara. "How's the new job? Is the alpha as impossible as they said?" Me. "Worse, and also complicated." Mara. "Complicated how?" Me. "I think I'm attracted to him." Mara. "Oh shit. Alara, no. Do not go there. He's your boss." Me. "I know, I'm not going to act on it. I just needed to tell someone." Mara. "Be careful. Alpha widowers are notoriously possessive. And you're an unmated Omega living in his house." Me. "Nothing's going to happen. I'm professional. This is just a little crush. It'll pass." Mara. Famous last words. I set the phone down and stared at the ceiling. She was right. This was dangerous. But I was strong. I could handle a little attraction. What I didn't know then was that Dante was lying in his own bed, thinking about me too. that he'd been thinking about me since the moment I walked through his door. That his wolf had recognized something in me that terrified and thrilled him in equal measure. That I wasn't just his nanny. I was about to become his obsession. Chapter 2. 2 months later, I should have known something was wrong when Dante started working from home more often. He'd always traveled constantly for business, but suddenly he was in his study, in the library, in the kitchen during Lily's lessons. Always near, always watching. His scent was everywhere, driving my wolf crazy with need. "Alara." Lily tugged on my sleeve. "You're not listening." "Sorry, sweetie. What did you say?" "I asked if we could do art today instead of reading." "We need to do reading, but we can do art after." She pouted, but pulled out her book. I tried to focus on the lesson, but I could feel Dante's presence in the next room. Could smell him, pine and smoke, and that darker note that made me want to do very inappropriate things. This was getting out of hand. I needed to talk to him, set boundaries, before this attraction spiraled into something we couldn't control. That evening, after Lily was in bed, I knocked on his study door. "Come in." He was at his desk, reading glasses perched on his nose, looking unfairly attractive in a simple t-shirt and jeans. "Do you have a moment?" I asked. "For you?" "Always." He set down his papers. "What's on your mind?" "I wanted to discuss some concerns about my position here." His expression sharpened. "Are you quitting?" No, nothing like that. It's just..." I took a breath. "You've been working from home a lot lately. And while I appreciate you being available for Lily, it's making things complicated." "Complicated how?" "You're always around, always nearby, and it's..." I struggled for words that wouldn't reveal too much. "It's distracting." He stood slowly, moving around the desk. "Distracting?" "Yes." "How so?" He was too close now. Close enough that I could feel the heat of him, smell his intoxicating scent. "Mr. Blackwood, Dante, I asked you to call me Dante." "Dante, then." "This isn't appropriate. I'm your employee. Is that all you are?" His voice dropped to a rough whisper. "Because sometimes, when you look at me, I think you're feeling this too." My breath caught. "Feeling what?" "This pull, this need." His hand came up to cup my face, his touch gentle despite the intensity in his eyes. "Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me you don't feel it, and I'll back off. I'll go back to traveling, keep my distance." I should tell him he was wrong. Should protect myself, my job, my carefully constructed plans. But I couldn't lie. "I feel it," I whispered. His eyes blazed silver. "Ilara!" "But it doesn't matter." I stepped back, breaking contact. "You're my employer. I'm here to care for your daughter. Acting on this attraction would be incredibly unprofessional. What if you weren't my employee? But I am. What if I fired you right now? What if we were just two people, free to..." "I need this job, Dante. I have student loans, plans for my future. I can't just throw that away for..." I gestured helplessly between us. "For whatever this is." "Then what do you suggest?" "Boundaries. You keep your distance. I do my job. We ignore this attraction until it fades." He laughed, but there was no humor in it. "You think it'll fade?" "It has to. And if it doesn't..." He moved closer again, predatory and intent. "What if it gets stronger? What if every day I want you more, until the thought of you with anyone else makes me want to tear the world apart?" My wolf whimpered with desire. "That's just biology. The alpha-omega dynamic. This isn't just biology." His voice was rough. "I know what mate bonds feel like, Alara. I had one. Lost it. Thought I'd never feel anything close to it again. But with you..." He shook his head. "With you, it's like waking up after years of being dead. Don't." Tears burned my eyes. "Don't say things like that. It's not fair." "Nothing about this is fair. But it's real." He took my hand, pressing it to his chest where his heart thundered. "Tell me you don't feel this. Tell me your wolf doesn't recognize mine. She did. Oh God, she did. But I couldn't. I wouldn't. I'm asking you to respect my boundaries, I said firmly, pulling my hand back. I need this job, and Lily needs stability. She doesn't need to watch her father pursue her nanny. That hit home. He flinched. You're right, Lily comes first. He stepped back. I apologize. That was inappropriate. Thank you. But Alara? His silver eyes held mine. I'll respect your boundaries. I'll keep my distance. But I'm not going to stop wanting you. And eventually, you're going to have to admit you want me, too. He was gone before I could respond. I slumped against the desk, my heart racing. This was so much worse than I thought. Because he was right. I did want him. And resisting that want was getting harder every day. For the next month, Dante kept his word. He traveled more. Stayed in his study when he was home. Kept our interactions brief and professional. It should have been a relief. Instead, it was torture. Because his scent was everywhere. Because I caught him watching me sometimes, hunger in his eyes that he quickly masked. Because my wolf howled for him every night. Lily noticed the tension. Why is Daddy sad? She asked one day during art. He's not sad, sweetie. Yes, he is. He looks at you funny, and then he looks sad. Her little face scrunched in thought. Do you make him sad? No, It's complicated, Lily. Grown-ups always say that. She went back to coloring. I think Daddy likes you. My heart stuttered. What makes you say that? He smiles when you're around. He didn't smile before you came. She looked up with serious eyes. It's okay if you like him too. I wouldn't mind. Lily, my mama's gone. She's not coming back. Daddy needs someone to make him smile. She returned to her drawing. You make him smile. And you make me smile too. So maybe you could stay forever. I couldn't breathe. It's not that simple. Why not? You love us, don't you? Did I? I looked at this beautiful, wounded child who I'd grown to care for deeply over the past months. And I thought about Dante. His pain, his strength, the way he loved his daughter with every fiber of his being. Oh God, I was in love with them. Both of them. When had that happened? Alara, Lily's voice was worried. Did I say something wrong? No, sweetie, you didn't. I pulled her into a hug. I do love you, both of you. Then you should tell Daddy. It's not that easy. Yes, it is. You just say, I love you. She pulled back, smiling. Want me to tell him for you? Absolutely not. I laughed despite myself. This stays between us, okay? Okay. She went back to coloring, but I caught her little smile. That night, I couldn't sleep. I wandered downstairs around midnight, planning to make tea. The kitchen light was already on. Dante stood by the window, shirtless, a glass of whiskey in hand. I should have left. Should have gone back upstairs. But I was so tired of fighting this. Can't sleep? I asked quietly. He turned, his silver eyes finding mine in the darkness. Thinking about you. The admission was raw. Always thinking about you. Dante, I know. Boundaries. Professional distance. He took a drink. Do you know what torture it is having you in my house? Smelling your scent everywhere? Hearing you laugh with my daughter? Wanting you with every breath I take and not being able to have you? I moved closer without meaning to. You think this is easy for me? Then why do we keep fighting it? Because I need this job. Because Lily needs stability. Because you're scared. He set down his glass and moved toward me. You're terrified that if you give in, if you let yourself feel this, you'll get hurt. Yes, I admitted. Yes, I'm scared. You're my employer, Dante. You hold all the power here. What happens when this attraction fades? When you get bored of me? I lose my job, my income, my plans for the future. I'm not going to get bored of you. You don't know that. I do. He was close now, so close I could feel the heat radiating from his bare skin. Because this isn't just attraction, Alara. It's more. So much more. Don't say it, my voice broke. Please don't say it. Why not? Because you feel it too? Because your wolf recognizes mine? His hand came up to cup my face. Because you're my mate? The word hung in the air between us. Mate. No, it couldn't be. I'm not. You already had a mate. The bond doesn't. It does sometimes. When the first mate dies, the goddess can grant a second chance. His thumb stroked my cheek. And you're mine, Alara. I knew it the moment you walked through my door. My wolf knew it. My heart knew it. Tears spilled down my cheeks. I can't be your mate. Too late. You are. He leaned closer. Tell me you don't feel it. Tell me the bond isn't there, and I'll let you go. I'll fire you with a full year's salary and references. You'll never have to see me again. Don't tell me. His lips were inches from mine. Tell me you don't want this. I couldn't, because I did want it. Wanted him. Wanted all of it with a desperation that terrified me. I can't, I whispered. Can't what? Can't tell you I don't want it. Can't lie. I looked into his silver eyes. I feel the bond, Dante. I felt it since the beginning, and it terrifies me. His smile was triumphant and tender all at once. Then stop fighting it. He closed the final distance. Let me love you, Alara. Let me claim you as mine. What about Lily? She told me today that she wouldn't mind if you stayed forever. That you make me smile. His forehead rested against mine. My daughter is already in love with you, just like I am. My breath caught. You love me? Desperately, completely, obsessively. His lips brushed mine, feather-light. Say yes, Alara. Be my mate, my Luna. Lily's mother. Say yes and let me spend the rest of my life proving you made the right choice. I should be sensible. Should think about all the ways this could go wrong. But my heart and my wolf were done being sensible. Yes, I breathed. He kissed me then, deep and claiming and perfect. The mate bond flared to life between us, golden and strong and absolutely right. When we finally pulled apart, we were both breathing hard. No more professional distance, he said firmly. No more boundaries. No more fighting this. He swept me into his arms. From now on, you're mine, publicly, completely. Mine. Possessive much? I couldn't help but smile. You have no idea. His eyes glowed silver. I've been obsessed with you for months, Alara. Now that I can finally have you, I'm never letting go. He carried me upstairs to his room and showed me exactly what it meant to be claimed by an alpha. And I learned that sometimes the best things in life come from taking risks, from letting go of fear, from saying yes to the impossible. By day, I was his nanny, but by night and every moment in between, I was his mate, his obsession, his everything. Chapter 3. I woke wrapped in Dante's arms, his scent surrounding me like a claim. Sunlight streamed through the windows. Morning had come too fast. You're thinking too loud, Dante murmured against my hair. I'm thinking about Lily. How we're going to tell her. She already knows we belong together. She told me as much. He pressed a kiss to my shoulder. But we'll tell her properly. Together. And the pack? What will they say about their alpha mating his daughter's nanny? They'll say I finally came back to life. He turned me to face him. Alara, I don't care what anyone thinks. You're my mate. That's all that matters. But your first mate was taken from me too soon, and I grieved her. We'll always love what we had. His silver eyes were serious. But she's gone, and you're here. And the goddess gave me a second chance at happiness. I'm not wasting it. He kissed me thoroughly, and I let myself sink into it, into him, into us. A knock at the door made us both freeze. Daddy? Lily's voice came through the wood. Why is Alara's door locked and empty? Dante and I stared at each other. Well, he said, suppressing a smile. Guess we're telling her now. He grabbed a robe and went to the door. I heard it open, heard Lily gasp. Is Alara in there with you? Yes, Tesoro. Come in. I quickly wrapped myself in one of Dante's shirts, massive on me but decent, as Lily entered. Her eyes went wide, seeing us both clearly just awakened, in Dante's bed. But instead of looking upset, she grinned. I knew it. She bounced up and down. I told you they liked each other, didn't I, Daddy? You did. Dante laughed, pulling her into a hug. Does this mean Alara's staying forever? Lily looked at me hopefully. How would you feel about that? I asked carefully. I'd feel great. Can I call you Mom? My breath caught. Dante's hand found mine, squeezing gently. You can call me whatever feels right, I said softly. But Lily, your mother, was my mama, and she's in heaven. But you're here, and you love me, and you love Daddy. Her child's logic was simple and pure. So you can be my mom now, if you want to be. Tears filled my eyes. I'd be honored. Yay! She threw herself at me, hugging tight. We're going to be a real family again. Over her head, Dante's eyes met mine, full of love and promise. We were a family. Unconventional. Unexpected. But ours. The pack's reaction to our mating was mixed. Most were thrilled that their alpha had finally found happiness again. A few older wolves whispered about the impropriety of mating the help, but Dante shut that down fast. Alara is my mate. Your Luna. Anyone who has a problem with that can bring it to me directly. No one did. We mated officially in a small ceremony a week later. Just pack leadership, close friends, and Lily, who served as flower girl and beamed the entire time. When Dante bit down on my neck, marking me as his, the bond completed with such intensity I saw stars. Mine, his wolf growled in my mind. Mine, my wolf purred back. That night, alone in our room, Dante made love to me slowly, reverently. I love you, he murmured against my skin. My mate, my Luna, my Alara. I love you too. I pulled him closer. My alpha, my Dante. Promise me something. Anything. Never doubt that you belong here. With me, with Lily, with this pack. His silver eyes were intense. You're not the nanny anymore. You're my equal, my partner. Promise me you'll remember that. I promise. He kissed me deeply, and I lost myself in him all over again. Chapter 4. 3 months later. Mama, watch! I looked up from the garden I was tending to see Lily successfully shift for the first time. A small wolf pup with dark fur and silver eyes stood where my daughter had been. My daughter. The thought still made me emotional. You did it! I cheered. Oh, Lily, you're beautiful! She yipped happily and ran in circles. Dante appeared, drawn by the commotion. When he saw Lily in wolf form, his face split in a huge grin. That's my girl! He shifted too, a massive black wolf, and play fought with his daughter. I watched them, my heart so full it might burst. This was my life now. Mornings teaching Lily her lessons. Afternoons working with pack children at the school I'd help establish. Evenings with my family. And nights. Nights were for Dante, for whispered I love yous and passionate claiming, and the bone-deep certainty that I was exactly where I belonged. Having fun? Margaret appeared beside me, smiling at the playing wolves. Always, I grinned. Who knew my life would turn out like this? The goddess knew. She always does. Margaret patted my arm. You're good for them. Good for this whole pack. They're good for me, too. After Lily shifted back, exhausted and happy, and went down for a nap, Dante found me in our room. Hello, Luna. His eyes gleamed with mischief. Hello, Alpha. I closed the book I'd been reading. What are you up to? Nothing. Can't I just want to see my beautiful mate? You can, but you have that look. What look? The one that means you're planning something. He laughed and pulled me into his lap. I have a surprise for you. What kind of surprise? The kind that'll make you very happy. He handed me a folder. Open it. I did, scanning the documents inside. Then I gasped. Dante, is this... The deed to the building downtown. The one you said would be perfect for a preschool. He kissed my neck. It's yours, along with enough funding to renovate it exactly how you want. Tears spilled down my cheeks. You bought me a building? I bought my mate her dream. There's a difference. His arms tightened around me. You gave up your plans to be here with us. The least I can do is make sure those dreams still come true. Dante, this is too much. Nothing is too much for you. He turned me to face him. You're my mate, Alara. My Luna. I want to give you the world. You already have. You and Lily. You're my world. Then let me give you your dream, too. His smile was soft. I want you to open that preschool, hire teachers, make it everything you envisioned. The pack will support it, and so will I. I kissed him hard, pouring all my love and gratitude into it. Thank you, I whispered, for everything, for loving me, for believing in me, for giving me a family. Thank you for taking a chance on us, on me. He rested his forehead against mine. Best decision I ever made, hiring you. Pretty sure I was the one who took the job. Semantics, he grinned. Either way, you're stuck with me now. Good, because I'm not going anywhere. We spent the rest of the afternoon planning the preschool, what renovations we'd need, how many teachers to hire, curriculum ideas. It felt surreal. 6 months ago, I'd been a struggling teacher taking a nanny job out of desperation. Now I was Luna of the Nightshade Pack, mother to a beautiful daughter, mate to an incredible alpha, and about to open my dream preschool. Life had a funny way of working out. Chapter 5. 6 months later, the grand opening of Moonlight Preschool was a huge success. 30 children enrolled on the first day. Parents from our pack and neighboring territories brought their little ones, excited for the unique blend of traditional education and wolf culture integration I'd developed. Lily helped me greet families, proud as could be in her big sister helper badge. This is my mama's school, she told anyone who'd listen. She's the best teacher ever. My heart swelled every time. Dante stood in the back, watching with undisguised pride. When our eyes met, the mate bond hummed with warmth. After everyone left, he pulled me close. You did it, he murmured. Your dream is real. Our dream, I corrected. I couldn't have done this without you. You could have. But I'm glad you didn't have to. He kissed me softly. I love you, Alara Blackwood. Alara Blackwood. I still wasn't used to my new name, but I loved how it sounded. I love you too. Come on. Margaret's making a celebration dinner, and Lily's probably bouncing off the walls waiting for us. We drove home, not to the estate, but to the new house we'd built on Packlands. Smaller than the mansion, but perfect for our little family. Lily met us at the door, practically vibrating with excitement. Guess what? Guess what? What, Tesoro? Dante laughed, scooping her up. Mama, you're going to have a baby. I froze. What? That's what Nana Margaret said. She said she could smell it. Lily bounced in Dante's arms. Am I right? Am I going to be a big sister? I looked at Dante, who'd gone very still. I don't know. I thought back. Had I been feeling off lately? More tired than usual? Margaret? Dante called. The housekeeper appeared, smiling knowingly. Congratulations, Luna. You're about 6 weeks along from what I can tell. My hand went to my stomach automatically. Pregnant. I was pregnant. Alara? Dante set Lily down and moved to me. Are you okay? I'm pregnant, I breathed. How do you feel about that? I looked at his concerned face, at Lily's excited one, at Margaret's warm smile, and I felt joy. Pure, overwhelming joy. "I'm happy," I said, tears spilling over. "I'm so happy." Dante's whoop of celebration made Lily shriek with laughter. He swept me into his arms, spinning me around. "We're having a baby!" He kissed me thoroughly. "We're having a baby!" Lily jumped up and down. "I'm going to be the best big sister ever." That night, after Lily was in bed, Dante held me close. "A baby," he murmured, his hand splayed over my stomach. "Our baby. Are you happy?" I asked. Ecstatic, terrified, overwhelmed. He kissed my neck, but mostly just grateful. Grateful for you, for Lily, for the second chance at a family. Me too. I laced my fingers through his. I never imagined my life could be this good. It's only going to get better. His silver eyes glowed in the darkness. "I promise you that, Alara. Every day with you is better than the last. Sweet talker. Truth teller." He pulled me closer. "Now rest. You're growing our pup. You need your strength." Bossy alpha. Your bossy alpha." "Mine," I agreed sleepily. As I drifted off in his arms, I thought about the journey that had brought me here. Taking a job I wasn't sure about. Fighting an attraction I thought was inappropriate. Falling in love despite every logical reason not to. Becoming a mother, a mate, a Luna. It had all started with a simple job listing. Nanny wanted, difficult alpha, generous pay. I'd thought I was taking a temporary position. Instead, I'd found my forever. By day, I ran my preschool and raised my daughter. By night, and every moment in between, I loved my mate with everything I had. And soon, we'd have one more little wolf to love. Our family was growing, and I'd never been happier. Chapter 6. The pregnancy was harder than I expected. Morning sickness wasn't just in the morning. It was all day. Every day. For 12 straight weeks. Dante was incredibly patient, holding my hair, bringing me crackers, rubbing my back. "I'm sorry," I groaned after another bout of nausea. "This is miserable." "You're growing our child. You have nothing to apologize for." He pressed a cool cloth to my forehead. "Besides, you're beautiful even when you're green." "Liar." "Truth." He kissed my temple. "Though I will admit, I prefer you when you're not actively vomiting." I laughed weakly. "Fair." Lily was fascinated by my growing belly. She'd talk to it, telling her little sibling about her day, singing songs, reading stories. "The baby can hear me, right, Mama?" "Probably, especially this far along." I was 5 months now, my belly finally starting to show. "Good. I want them to know my voice." She pressed her ear to my stomach. "I'm your big sister, baby, and I'm going to protect you and teach you everything." My heart melted. "You're going to be an amazing big sister," I told her. "I know." Her confidence was adorable. Daddy said the same thing. The pack was thrilled about the pregnancy. They threw me a baby shower that was overwhelming in the best way, gifts piled high, wolves offering advice and congratulations, everyone excited for their alpha's new heir. "How are you holding up?" Luna, Dante's sister, asked as I opened yet another onesie. "Good. Tired. Overwhelmed." I smiled. "But happy." "Good. Because Dante's been insufferable with how excited he is." She grinned. "I've never seen my brother this happy. You're good for him, Alara." "He's good for me, too." "I'm glad. You both deserve this happiness." That night, as Dante rubbed lotion on my growing belly, I felt the baby kick for the first time. "Did you feel that?" I grabbed his hand, pressing it where I'd felt the movement. We waited, breathlessly. Then a tiny kick against his palm. Dante's face transformed with wonder. "That's our baby." "That's our baby," I agreed, tears streaming. "Hello, little one," he murmured to my belly. "I'm your papa, and I already love you so much." Another kick, stronger this time. "I think they love you too," I said. "Of course they do. I'm incredibly lovable." He kissed my stomach, then my lips. "Just like their mama." "Dante, Thank you for all of this, for giving me a family, for loving me. Ilara, you gave me more than I gave you. You brought me back to life. Gave me hope again. Gave me love. His silver eyes were intense. I should be thanking you. Then let's call it even. Deal. He kissed me deeply. Now rest. Our pup is active tonight, and you need your sleep. I settled against him, his warmth surrounding me, our baby moving between us. This was everything I'd never known I wanted. And I was never letting it go. Chapter 7. I went into labor 3 weeks early. We were having dinner, me, Dante, and Lily, when my water broke. Dante? He looked up from his pasta. What's wrong? I think the baby's coming. The plate clattered from his hand. Now? But you're not due for... Tell that to the baby. I gripped the table as a contraction hit. Oh, God, that hurt. He was at my side instantly. Breathe. Just breathe. Lily, go get Nona Margaret. Tell her it's time. Lily ran off, shouting for Margaret. You've got this, Dante said, helping me to the car. I've got you. The drive to the PAC hospital was a blur of contractions and Dante's steady voice coaching me through breathing. The medical staff was ready when we arrived. Dr. Sarah, the PAC's head physician, checked me quickly. You're already at 6 centimeters. This baby's in a hurry. She smiled. It'll be fast. Let's get you to a room. Fast was an understatement. 4 hours later, I was pushing, Dante's hand crushing mine. You're doing amazing, he murmured. So strong, so brave. I hate you right now, I panted. I know, I love you too. One more push, then a cry, the most beautiful sound I'd ever heard. It's a boy, Dr. Sarah announced, placing the squirming, crying bundle on my chest. I looked down at my son, dark hair like his father, already showing the promise of alpha strength. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Hi, baby, I whispered. We've been waiting for you. Dante was crying openly, his hand gentle on our son's tiny head. He's beautiful, just like his mother. He has your hair, and your nose. Dante kissed me softly. Thank you, for him, for Lily, for everything. You did half the work. The easy half. He gazed at our son with such love it made my chest ache. What should we name him? We'd discussed names but never settled on one. Looking at our son now, I knew. Sebastian, I said. Sebastian Dante Blackwood. Sebastian. Dante tested it, smiling. It's perfect. He's perfect. Lily met her baby brother the next day. She climbed carefully onto the hospital bed, staring at Sebastian with wide eyes. He's so tiny. You were this tiny once, I told her. Really? Really? And you're going to help him grow big and strong, right? Right. She gently touched his little hand. He grabbed her finger and her face lit up. He likes me. Of course he does. You're his big sister. Dante took a photo of them, capturing the moment perfectly. That night, alone with my little family, I felt complete in a way I'd never experienced. We did good, I told Dante as he held Sebastian, rocking him gently. We did. He looked at our sleeping daughter on the couch, then at the baby in his arms, then at me. Look at us, a real family, the best family. All because you answered a job listing for a difficult alpha. All because a difficult alpha saw past the professional boundaries. He grinned. I prefer determined to difficult. Obsessed. That, too. His eyes heated. Still obsessed. Always will be. Good, because I'm obsessed with you, too. We sat in comfortable silence, watching our children sleep, the mate bond warm and content between us. This was what happiness looked like. Not perfect, not always easy, but real. And ours. And worth every risk we'd taken to get here. Chapter 8. 2 years later. Mama, Seb took my toy. Did not. Did too. I looked up from the preschool paperwork I was reviewing to see my children arguing over a stuffed wolf. Lily was 7 now, long-legged and confident. Sebastian was 2, all chubby cheeks and mischief. "Let's use our words instead of yelling," I said calmly. "Lily, did you ask nicely to share?" "He doesn't share." "Did you ask?" "No." "And Sebastian, did you take the toy without permission?" My son's bottom lip wobbled. "I wanted to play." "I know, baby, but we ask first, right?" "Right." He handed the toy back to Lily. "Zoe." "Thank you for apologizing." I pulled both children into a hug. "Now, why don't we all play together?" Crisis averted. I returned to my work. Moonlight Preschool had expanded. We now had 3 teachers, 50 students, and a waiting list. It was more than I'd ever dreamed. "How's my brilliant Luna?" Dante's voice made me look up. He leaned against the doorway, looking unfairly handsome in his business suit. "Busy. How was the council meeting?" "Boring. They approved our territory expansion, though." "That's great." I stood to kiss him. "Means more room for the pack." "Exactly what I said." His hands settled on my waist. "And speaking of expansion, Dante, no. We agreed. 2 kids is enough." "I didn't say anything about kids." He laughed. "I meant the preschool. The council wants to fund satellite locations in other territories. They're impressed with our model." "Really?" Excitement bubbled up. "That's amazing. I know. My mate is changing the world, one little wolf at a time." He kissed me soundly. I'm very proud. "Daddy!" Sebastian toddled over. "Up!" Dante scooped him up easily. "Hey, little alpha. Been good for Mama?" I shared. "Did you? That's my boy." Lily appeared, tugging on my hand. "Mama, can I help at the preschool tomorrow, please?" "If you finish your homework tonight." "Deal." She ran off, and I smiled. "Happy?" Dante asked softly. I looked at him, my mate, my love, my everything, at our children, healthy and happy, at the life we'd built together. "Deliriously," I said. "You?" "Never been happier." He shifted Sebastian to one hip and pulled me close with his free arm. "Though I do miss having you all to myself sometimes." "The kids go to bed at 8. Is that a promise?" "Absolutely." I grinned. "Your obsession needs attention?" "Always." His eyes heated. "My beautiful mate always has my attention." "Good, because you're stuck with me. Best thing that ever happened to me, being stuck with you." That evening, after the kids were in bed, Dante and I sat on our porch swing, watching the stars. "Do you ever regret it?" he asked suddenly. "Taking that job? All the complications?" "Never. Not once." I snuggled closer. "Best decision I ever made." "Even when I was being impossible? Especially then." I smiled. "Your obsession was oddly flattering." "Was? I'm still obsessed." He nuzzled my neck. "Even more now that you're mine." "I'm not complaining." "Good, because I'm never letting you go. Promise. Promise." He kissed me deeply. "By day, you're Luna, teacher, mother, but by night I'm yours. Exactly." His smile was pure satisfaction. My obsession, my everything. I thought about that scared Omega who'd stood outside this estate 2.5 years ago, unsure if she could handle a difficult alpha. I'd had no idea what I was walking into. No idea I'd find my mate, my family, my purpose. No idea that taking a job as a nanny would lead to the greatest love story of my life. But I was so glad I took the chance. So glad I said yes to the impossible. Because this beautiful, chaotic, perfect life was worth every risk. Epilogue, 5 years later. "Mama, Papa, come quick!" I ran outside to find Lily, now 12 and already showing alpha traits, standing with Sebastian and our youngest, 3-year-old Aurora. "What's wrong?" Dante asked, appearing beside me. "Nothing's wrong." "Look." Lily pointed to Aurora, who was concentrating hard. Then our youngest shifted for the first time, a tiny silver wolf with dark markings. Dante and I both gasped. "She did it!" Sebastian cheered. "Aurora shifted!" Our daughter yipped happily and pranced around. "I'm so proud." I knelt down as she shifted back. "You were beautiful, sweetheart." "Did you see, Mama? Did you see?" Aurora bounced excitedly. "I saw. You're amazing." I pulled her into a hug. Dante wrapped his arms around all of us, our little pack within a pack. "Look at our family," he murmured. I looked at our 3 beautiful children, at the home we'd built, at the packlands stretching beyond, full of wolves we'd come to love. And I thought about that job listing. Nanny wanted difficult alpha, generous pay. It had promised employment. It had delivered everything. "What are you thinking?" Dante asked, reading my expression. "That I'm the luckiest woman alive." "Wrong. I'm the luckiest alpha alive, because I found you." He kissed me softly. "My nanny, my obsession, my mate, my everything. And I found you, my difficult alpha, my love, my forever." Our children groaned at our public affection, but we didn't care. This was our story, the nanny and the widowed alpha. By day, a professional relationship. By night, an obsession that became the greatest love either of us had known. And every day after, a beautiful life built together. One risk, one job, one impossible love, and a happily ever after that exceeded every dream. Closing. And there we have it, my lovely listeners. Alara and Dante's journey from professional boundaries to passionate obsession to the deepest love. Sometimes the most beautiful relationships start in the most unexpected ways. A job interview, a moment of recognition, a pull too strong to resist. Alara thought she was just taking a nanny position. She had no idea she was walking into her destiny, a mate who would love her fiercely, children who would fill her heart, and a purpose that would change lives. And Dante? He thought he was just hiring help. He found his second chance at love, his reason to smile again, his everything. Their story reminds us that love doesn't follow rules. It doesn't care about professional boundaries or appropriate timing. When it's real, when it's fate, it simply is. If you loved Alara and Dante's story, please hit that like button and drop a comment. What was your favorite moment? The kitchen confrontation? The midnight confession? That beautiful family epilogue? I want to hear all your thoughts. And here's a delicious preview of our next tale. The rogue king's captive. She's his prisoner, but he's her mate. Oh yes, darlings, we're diving into captive romance with a twist that'll make your heart race. What happens when the woman a ruthless alpha kidnaps turns out to be his fated mate? Tune in next time to find out. Until then, this is Luna, reminding you that sometimes the best things in life come from taking risks, from saying yes to the impossible, from letting obsession become love. Sweet dreams and passionate listening, my loves.